Hello and welcome to Digital Goulash. My name is Chucky and today we're going to look at photo matting in Photoshop Elements. Now let's go ahead and take a look at what I've got here. As I've got a picture. Part of it is in color, part of it is in black and white. There's a little bit of a white border here, and then there's a little bit of a drop shadow here. Now you've probably seen this effect before. It's a pretty easy effect to do, but I'm going to do a little twist on this particular effect by using the Move tool. Go ahead and follow along with me and watch what I can do. I can move the color part around wherever I want to. I can also spin it, rotate this, and I can also scale it. That's something that you can't do in some of the other tutorials that you may have seen already. Let me go ahead and put my palettes back to the way they were. If I go to Window and I reset my palettes or my panels, you can see that this is what it looks like when it's finished. Let's take you through the steps that I did to get it to where it is now. I've got the original photo right here. This is me standing in Puerto Rico in front of a fort here. You can see that there's some nice blue water crashing in the background. I'm going to take my rectangular marquee tool, which is 2 down below the Move tool. You just count from the left top and you go 2 down. If you don't see it, you might see the elliptical marquee. If you click and hold on it, you have a flyout that gives you 2 options. Rectangular marquee is right there. I'm just going to make a rectangular marquee on my picture, and it's going to leave what we call the marching ants there. It does not matter when you start what size the rectangular marquee is. We're going to add an adjustment layer. An adjustment layer is the black and white cookie tool on the very bottom of your layers palette. So let's get familiar with some of these names. This is our layers palette. This is our adjustment layer or adjustment layer icon here. I'm going to click it and I'm going to go to hue and saturation. And what it's going to do is make the marching ants disappear for a few seconds. And then when I move the sliders, the saturation slider specifically to the left, you can see that it takes all the color out of it. Then when I take the lightness slider and move it to the right, you can see that it's lightening my photo a bit. This is pretty much what I want, except the fact that it is opposite of what I really want. The color's supposed to be here, and the black and white's supposed to be out there. So we need to do some inverting a little bit later in this tutorial. For now, I'm going to go back to my layers palette. I'm going to drag it out a little bit so that you can see my different layers. I have my background layer, which is locked, and I have an adjustment layer. We'll flip these around in just a second. I need to add a transparent layer, which is the first icon right here that says Create New Layer. You'll hear me call it a dog ear because it looks like a little page is dog-eared here. When I clicked on it, you can see that there is a checkerboard pattern, meaning that it is just a transparent layer that I added. Now what we need to do is we need to get our marching ants back. So if we hold down the Command on a Mac or Control on a PC and click on this little layer mask thumbnail, you'll see that the marching ants came back. Isn't that great? Now what we're going to do is we're going to stroke this, meaning we are going to put a line all the way around inside the box. And this is going to be our white color. So I'm going to go to Edit and Stroke. And as you can see, on mine I put 30 pixels, but you will have to play around. You might need less, you might need more if your picture is very large. Now I don't want black right now, I just want white to show you what's going on. So you could go over here and you could click white. I happen to know that white is 255, 255, 255. There's white. And I select OK. And I want it to go to the inside. Leave the blending modes just the way they are. Choose inside and select OK. Now we got to make sure that this goes on a separate layer. You can see that there it is, right there. We've got our white border. Now, I'm going to hold the Command key down, or the Control key on the PC again, and I'm going to click on this new layer icon once more. And as you can see, layer 2 appears right here underneath layer 1. I'm going to make a black line right there because we need a drop shadow. Now as you can see, I left this drop shadow area up. If we did the drop shadow, there would be a shadow on the inside of the picture and then a shadow on the outside of the picture, and it doesn't look very realistic. So we're going to have to do this the manual way. Now I'm going to go to Edit, Stroke again, but this time I'm going to stroke with black. So if you click on this color, you go to 0, 0, 0, that's black. And we're going to drop black down. Well, you can't see anything right now because the white is covering the black. So let's turn the visibility icon, which is the eyeball, let's turn it off. And you can see our black is right here. Now first, let's go and do a Command or Control D to get rid of the marching ants so that we can see and have a better look at the black layer here. We have to filter this and we have to blur it a bit so that it looks like a drop shadow. So I'm going to go up to where it says Filter, Blur, and I'm going to pick Gaussian Blur. And as you can see, this is kind of a nice blur right here. You can zoom in a little bit if you want to, but I've got it exactly where I want it, kind of a little bit faded. And I'm going to select OK. So there is our, right now, our shadow. Now, once again, if we leave this line and this line up here, it's going to look fake. So we need to erase those. And the easiest, quickest way to do that is to go over to the polygon lasso. This is the one just to the right of this marquee tool. So click on it. If you don't see the polygon lasso, there's a couple other ones. There's a magnetic and a regular lasso. You want the one that says polygon. And what we're going to do is I'm going to make a triangle. I'm going to click once and I'm going to start over here. And you want to take this corner out, right in between the corner. So I'm going to take this corner out and kind of make a, I guess, a little bit of an offset triangle. And you want to go all the way around to make sure that you're including this top line and this side line right here. And you want to close your triangle. You can see the little circle right here when you get close to closing. And there we go. And we're going to hit the delete key. And as you can see, this is going to become our drop shadow right there. We don't want the top, we don't want the side, we just want the bottom and the right hand side. Now hit Command or Control D to get rid of the marching ants again. and then we can go ahead and put the white back. Now of course you can't really see it, and part of it is going to the inside, so we're going to have to move this shadow. So I'm going to take the move tool right here, and I'm going to use my arrow keys. And I'm going to go down a little bit, and as you can see, the shadow's starting to look like a shadow. Now remember, we took the top shadow off and we took the side shadow off. And the reason we did that was because the shadow would be on the inside of this, and we don't want that there. Now here's where the magic comes. We have to take this layer mask thumbnail and click on it. And we have to invert this. We have to make the whites black and the blacks white. So the quickest way to do that is to go under Filter, Adjustments, and Invert. You'll notice that it is a Command or Control I. So let's go ahead and do that. Command or Control I. And there we go. We swapped it around. Colors on the inside and the black and white is on the outside. So this is shaping up to be a really nice looking photo now. Now we have to link all these layers so that when I move this, it moves all together. So if I hold down the command again and I click on all three of these layers, they will all turn blue. And at the very bottom of our layer palette is a little chain link, and I'm going to link these layers. And there we have it. We are now linked. Use the move tool and drag this around, and as you can see, you can drag the color wherever you want to. So maybe I want to resize this a little bit. Maybe I didn't really want to have that much showing there, and maybe I want to spin this around just a little bit here. I can hit the enter key, and then I can keep moving it around, and there we have it. There is my color. There's my black and white. It is a photo matte of sorts. You can see that there's a little bit of a drop shadow that we created, and then we had this particular stroke of this white area right here. Now you can use whatever colors that you want, but I found that this has the best look to it. I'm going to go ahead and post these in a format that's a little bit different than I've done before. I'm going to put it in the new PowerPoint 2011 and hope you like it. If you like this video, please subscribe, give me a couple thumbs up, and let me know how I'm doing. Take care. This is Chucky from Digital Goulash.